Hi, what's up? Today I'd like to show you how I make custom grip tape for my boards. I did this recently and I've had a number of people comment on it when I'm at the skate park, and so I thought you might like to learn too. It's pretty simple. There's a lot of ways to do it, and I thought I'd show you my approach. So if you'd like to try it for yourself, you can see what I do. So first of all, I got the idea from this really amazing grip tape that I got on a board that came with a board from Street Plant brand. So shout out Mike Vallely and Garageland. This was such a cool board, and the grip tape on there you can see just has this amazing design, sort of almost like a custom illustration with their logo. Almost reminds me of like some type of comic book inspired design, and I loved how the flow of the design goes down the board, and I thought, boy, it'd be cool if I could draw something similar to that on my boards. Now, I've been customizing skateboards for myself since I was a kid. When I was a little kid, me and my buddy Jared had boards. We had Veriflex boards, we had banana boards, and I remember one board I had was like a blue banana board with some like really grody and chunky urethane wheels on it, and I spray painted rad on the bottom. And I mean, that's what you do when you skate, right? You make stuff yourself, very punk ethos. And so I thought, what if I started customizing my grip tape? I'm not the first, obviously, to come up with that idea. I see a lot of people doing that at the skate parks and all over, and some really amazing designs out there. I'm just getting into it, and some of my explorations are just my first few stabs. But I've learned a few things from the supplies I've picked up, which is what I thought is worth sharing. So I'll show you my latest board that I worked on was this one here. This is the one that I've gotten some comments on. So this is my PAL flight deck. By the way, this thing is amazing. I'm 250 pounds, and I've been jumping down some pretty big stuff lately and have yet to be able to even put a crack in it. And I got my Bones 60mm Caballero SPFs on there, and some basic grip tape. I think this is Black Magic grip tape, and so this is the design I created. It says make peace, and I got a little eye and a pyramid on there, and it says push, and I had my kids write on it. This is what my daughter wrote from Ella, and my other daughter Shiloh wrote this little love, and Jake, my son, put his name on there, and just some other fun stuff I made. Sort of winged it on this one. It doesn't have quite the impressive flow that the grip tape from Street Plant brand does, but it's still pretty fun. I put a fish on there. Just thought it was fun illustration. So, first question is, what do you do this with? And I'll show you another board that I tried with some of my first attempts. Put a little nose on this one and a little tail, just as an easy reminder. And those I actually did with this whiteout pen. You can see the whiteout pen it's got a tip. It's got a tip that, it's got a metal tip, and you sort of have to push down on it, and it's okay. The tough thing is grip tape is basically like sandpaper, so when you're rubbing on it with metal, those two things don't go together real well. But it was good enough to make some little lines. The tough thing I think would have been trying to use that for broader surfaces and like broader sections of your design. But for little just line work, I think that thing will work fine. But I was also doing some drawing on my wall, and I noticed I went exploring for different options, and I found some paint pens. So I found these great paint pens from Craft Smart. One's a Craft Smart brand, the other is, I don't know, Painters. I'll link to a few in the description that you can find on Amazon. I think I got these at Walmart. I went to Walmart and Michael's and picked up a bunch of them, and the ones that I found that seem to work the best are this one here. It's Painters. I think probably any of them will work about the same, honestly, wherever you get them. The key is it's got like a felt tip, and it's a pretty thick tip here, And it's similar to the whiteout pen in that you've got to push down on this tip, and you shake it up. If any of you have done some street writing, it's similar to like maybe those big paint markers that you get, or something that you'd write on a wall with. But you shake it up, get the ink flowing, and then once it's coated in here, once this felt tip is coated with paint, then you can start using it. And so the nice thing about the felt tip, of course, is that it gives you a little bit smoother of a stroke when you're writing on this gritty grip tape. The tough part is when you're writing, I've found that some of the felt starts to string out and flake off. So sometimes you have to be aware of that and just roll it up a little or pull it out while you're working and keep your surface clean. So you can see there, this is a pretty fat tip, this one here. And then I've got another one. This one's actually supposed to be for fabric. I'm not sure how different it is from this basic paint pen, but it is a finer tip pen. And I've really started to like the finer tip here. So you can see they're both good for different things, of course. If you've got a broader, thicker area of white, you might want to use the wider one. If you've got thinner areas, of course the finer one will work. And then they do sell different colors. There's gold ones, there's gray, so you can mix your design in different colors. I like sort of just the black and white approach, so that's why I'm sticking with just the white. So I'll show you what I've got going on here and let you take a look while I work on this current design that I'm working on, which is a board for a friend. So the first thing you want to start with is a design. You want to sketch out your design on paper first, so you've got a good idea of what it is that you're going to make. You can do freehand, and to be honest with you, on this other board here, I did do freehand. I didn't really sketch anything out first, and it turned out okay, but I can see how if I had really taken time to plan out the design, I might have ended up with something a little bit more thoughtful. There's some areas here that I'm not thrilled with. Yeah, like just some of the things feel just inserted in, and I could have maybe made a little bit more thoughtful layout, especially when you look at something like this grip tape here. So if you start with a sketch, then you can start moving into working on your board. And I tried a few things. I tried actually using a wood pencil. So I tried sketching out the design with a wood pencil first. This carpenter's pencil is meant to be used on wood, and it really was hard to see anything where it was showing up. So I just skipped that and decided to go with freehand. I feel comfortable enough that I can do this in freehand. But if you really did want to sketch out your guidelines first, another type of pencil you could try is a white chalk pencil, and that could work. So I'm going to go ahead and just pick up where I left off here and take a little video while I draw, and you can see how this works. Okay, so that's it. Here's how the finished board turned out. I'm pretty happy with it. This is for a friend, my good friend Talain. By the way, you can check out his music. I'll put a link in the description. Talain makes some amazing music. He's a good buddy of mine. And he's also an amazing filmographer, cinematographer. So if you have any projects, check him out. But this is for him. It was just sort of a fun personal take on an old TV show I used to watch, Parker Lewis Can't Lose. So that's where the sort of the 80s vibe comes from. This is going to be a cruiser board for him while he's cruising around in LA. He can use this thing. So that was sort of the inspiration behind it. It's not too intricate, but you can see it did require some graphic design and lettering. I've got a lot of experience with lettering and design, so that was pretty comfortable for me. If you don't, that's where I would suggest taking time to practice sketching out your design on paper first, and then you can even use some tools. You might notice that whenever I was creating my artwork, I used just a basic piece of paper folded up as a ruler. If you need to make straight lines, ruler makes a really great, or a piece of paper makes a really great ruler for that. You also might notice that I had to stop and shake my pen a lot. These pens will usually do a couple boards. You can see the tip is starting to wear down a bit, but it's still got a good amount left. I might get one more board design out of this. Okay, so let me know if you found this helpful or enjoyable or entertaining or interesting. Or if you'd like to see something else, I'll probably do another grip tape design in the near future. And if you like this, I'll film the next one too. Let me know in the comments below. And, oh, thanks for watching. And before we go, a message from my sponsor.
Hi! Make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Bye! Peace out, homies!
Peace!